Let's talk about that situation at Boston College. Jeff Jagodzinski, a young, up-and-coming head football coach. He has done some time in the NFL as an assistant coach. He was told by his bosses at Boston College, interview for the vacant job with the New York Jets, which he is scheduled to do today, and you are fired. In a profession where we routinely see coaches break contracts and jump from college to the pros and even from college to other colleges, what are your thoughts on this?
I think, of course, let me preface my comments by saying I'm not sure what his contract entails. There have been some rumors out there that maybe it's a language in this contract that says he is not allowed to interview with anyone in his first 3 years as coach. Now, I'm going based assuming that that is not in there. So if that's not, I find this to be incredibly petty by the school, and I know a lot of college football fans out there, they're sort of tired of this revolving door, but I also need to remind them we've also seen schools do like what happened with Tommy Tuberville. You know, and my philosophy is if they can fire you whenever they want, you should be able to look and to attract jobs whenever you want. And they had to figure at some point, the NFL, given his lengthy experience as an assistant, that would be an option for him. And I think the only reason that they're doing this is because they feel like they got some other guys that can step in and do what he has done. But if I'm a coach who's looking at Boston College, that would communicate negatively to me. I would think, why would I want to work with someone who's essentially trying to blackmail
How can he even stay and work for
Well,
these
no, I think it's done. I mean, reports I've read have said that regardless of whether he interviews or not, he's out. And maybe there's a backstory here. Right. We don't know, some bad blood. But just on the preface of this, I find it to be petty.
Petty.
Very petty.
I find it to be absolutely right. And I applaud this BC AD for taking a stand that a lot of colleges and ADs in his situation should take, which is, I gave this guy his first head coaching job. I pay him more than $1 million a year. And if he merely goes for the interview, he could wreck my recruiting this year. Because remember, Boston College isn't a USC or an Ohio State or an Oklahoma where it can, wait a second, where it can recruit on tradition alone. You are signing with Boston College in large part because you want to play for that head coach. And if he walks away in the middle of this, they got wrecked 2 years ago by Tom O'Brien, who was very popular there. And all of a sudden, at the last second, with recruiting hanging in the balance, he bolts for, remember, North Carolina State, out of the blue.
Which makes sense. Maybe that language is in this deal.
Maybe it is. Now, I don't know that either.
It would make sense for them to protect themselves.
I agree.
But Skip, you're essentially saying a coach shouldn't ever leave. I mean, it's a part of the game. This is what happens. When you're good, people want to come and hire you. So is he supposed to say no? I mean, what happens to evaluating your market value? What is wrong with that?
Because you have recruiting hanging in the balance.
But you're recruiting every year.
Okay, but then don't sign the contract. Say I only want a one-year contract.
Who would they ever hire? Who would they ever hire? That is college
and
coaching.
What kid would go to play at Boston College if the coach had a one-year?
That's why they tell kids do not decide based off the coach. Decide based on the school.
But wait a second. If they decide to fire you before your contract's up, they owe you the X million that they have to pay you.
Well,
they got to pay you.
They don't owe him.
Right.
He walks away. They don't owe him a penny.
I mean,
it's a one-way street then.